either externally or internally, that it's impossible to be present. So the evaluating mind takes over in these instances. And this evaluating mind can really interfere with being present. And this impasse may result in shutting down, or you might even hear something you really didn't like, so you get really angry. It's hard to be fully present when you're outraged or depressed about the state of the world. Muktananda, a great Shaivite master, and our root teacher, used to say that we're like a bee buzzing from one flower to another all day long. He described the heart center as the seat of the mind. The heart center is, of course, in the center of the body, between the lower chakras and the upper chakras. The center for the pairs of opposites. The outer chamber of the heart is said to contain the pairs of opposites. Love, hate, good, bad, superior, inferior, masculine, feminine, dark, light, limited, unlimited, anger, laughter, stillness, action, victory, defeat, truth, falsity, thankfulness, ingratitude, unworthiness, grandiosity, asleep, awake, fear, fearlessness, ease, difficulty, strength, weakness, joy, and sorrow, praise, blame, pain, pleasure, surrender, rebellion. And the list goes on and on. The French philosopher Pascal says, "A man does not show his greatness by being at one extremity or the other, but rather by touching both at once." Metaphorically, the outer chamber of the heart is seen as a lotus flower of 12 petals, each petal representing a positive and negative emotion. And all day long we might be like the bee that buzzes from one petal to the other, one emotion to the other. The inner chamber of the heart represents our innate awareness, our self beyond emotion. In this inner chamber, we enter the inner feeling in the heart, which is oneness. And in order to enter the inner chamber of the heart, we have to let go of the feelings and reactions and put our attention on the innate awareness. It's our task as human beings to come to terms with these often conflicting and contradictory impulses. The conflict of the pairs of opposites is really the normal state of affairs for all of us. How do we acknowledge this conflict? How do we teach our children to deal with it? To control both love and hate. The ancient Greeks saw wisdom as the ability to perceive the unity that pervades and orders all things. Aristotle said, "Surely nature longs for the opposites and affects her harmony from them." It's quite wonderful when we can perceive the unity of both sides. The Sufi Gilbran, on joy and sorrow, says, when you are joyous, look into your heart, look deep into your heart, and you shall find that it is only that which has given you sorrow, that is giving you joy. And when you are sorrowful, look again into your heart, and you shall see in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. Some of you say, joy is greater than sorrow, and others say, sorrow is greater than joy. But I say unto you, they are inseparable. Together they come, and when one sits alone with you at your board, remember the other is asleep upon your bed. Verily, you are suspended like scales between your sorrow and joy, and only when you are empty are you at a standstill and balanced. Shaivism says something very similar. It says that the place to be is in between the pairs of opposites, in that place of awareness. There was a great mystic, Laleshwari, in the 11th century, and some would say she was mad, and others would say she was a great mystic because sometimes she would walk around naked. Anyway, one day she had a scarf and she put it around her neck, and she said, when people praise me, I'll tie a knot on the right side, and on the left, when people blame me, I'll tie a knot. And so then at the end of the day, she took the scarf and she weighed it. She goes, praise and blame weigh the same. Go back to your mantra, Lali. So mantra is the way Lali did it. A way to be in the center of the pairs of opposites. Robert Frost considered another way. He was talking about the stars in the sky. O star, the fairest one in sight, we grant your loftiness the right to some obscurity of cloud. It will not do to say of night, since dark is what brings out your light. And then skipping down a little, not even stooping from its spear, speaking of the star, it asks a little of us here. It asks of us a certain height. So when at times the mob is swayed to carry praise and blame too far, we may choose something like a star to stay our minds on and be stayed. So these are two ways, choosing a star, choosing the mantra. Shaivism suggests other ways of dealing with the confusion of the contrasting opposites. In the instance of intellectual impasse, when one is inundated by commotion, evaluating commotion or confused commotion, the Vijnana Bhairava suggests looking for the moment in which the commotion ceases. It is in this moment that the self appears. It is in this instant that the divine reveals itself. Another way of entering into this moment, into this transitional space of awareness, is to go to the space in between the thoughts. The internal commotion can sometimes be most difficult to confront. So giving yourself some time to sit in transitional space can be especially useful in clearing the confusion and allowing your intuitive wisdom to open. In the second instance of dealing with feeling states, it's recommended that one fully taste the feeling state deeply, and at the same time hold awareness and lean into awareness. Be completely identified with the affect. So remembering to hold awareness is very important rather than being swept away by a feeling state. Shaivism describes 9 fundamental feeling states. These states all arise out of the primordial awareness and dissolve back into it. They are delight, laughter, sorrow, anger, heroism, fear, disgust, wonder, and serenity. There is a verse in Shaivism which says, "Understandings such as I am happy, I am miserable, are like a garland strung together on the common thread of the awareness." Understandings such as I am happy, I am miserable, are like a garland strung together on the common thread of the awareness. Dzogchen has a similar understanding, and yet a little different. Dzogchen also sees the senses, passions, and pleasures as ornaments of awareness. The instructions of the Dzogchen master are to look nakedly at whatever appears in the moment. So, in the moment it appears, one is instructed to look directly and nakedly. And it's at the same time to relax into the state of awareness. Then whatever is experienced in the moment is experienced as pure presence. This is the secret instruction of Dzogchen and the power of natural liberation. This is particularly useful for old repetitive patterns that arise again and again. For example, the passions and feelings may be intrinsically freed by focusing on in the very moment one is aware of them, before any karma gets accumulated. So if I'm feeling anxious or afraid, I hold awareness, face the fear directly as soon as it arises, and look nakedly at the fear. Then it becomes pure presence. The fear, becoming pure presence, is freed in its own place without being repressed or eliminated. So feelings can be experienced by us and also liberated into the field of oneness. Pride becomes the awareness of utter sameness. Desire becomes discriminating awareness. Envy becomes all-accomplishing awareness. Shaivism points out that one initially attains the state of oneness through meditation practice, and later develops the experience of oneness or one taste in everyday life. One taste means that everything is digested into the inner heart essence, which is the light. So the person becomes light and experiences the world as light and bliss. One is grounded in the primordial field, primordial wisdom of the field. All dualities merge and grasping ceases. One begins to experience that there is no difference between dying and not dying, between the observer and the observed, between meditation and non-meditation. And all phenomena are experienced from the ground of being without grasping. One simply exists within the steady stream of awareness. So once again, we'll enter that place of oneness within each of us, in that inner chamber of the heart. Where the feelings and the thoughts quiet, and we enter the inner feeling of the heart. That state of compassion for ourselves and all living beings. So we do this practice for ourselves and all living beings. And as we've been cultivating awareness for some time now, we'll do that practice where we focus on family and friends that might be having some difficulty. Holding that state of compassion for them. In the light. And I'll extend that light and compassion to our outgoing president. In gratitude for his central positions on many things. And we hold the light for the president-elect as well. And for our community, which is going to be in a bit of disarray next week, I think, between all the opposing opposites. And for the world, holding that light. And we have one more chant today.
ಸೆಲುವು ಮನವೇ ಆಳುವೆ ಶಿವನನು ಎಲ್ಲೆಡೆಗೆ.
ಶಿವ ಶಿವ ಭಜಿಸಲು ಮನವೇ ಆಳುವೆ ಶಿವನನು ಎಲ್ಲೆಡೆಗೆ.
ಶಿವದಾನಲ್ಲವು ತಿಳಿಯಯ್ಯ.
ನಾನು ನನ್ನದು ಏನಯ್ಯ ಶಿವದಾನೆಲ್ಲವೂ ತಿಳಿಯಯ್ಯ.
ನಾನು ನನ್ನದು ಏನಯ್ಯ ಶಿವದಾನಲ್ಲವು ತಿಳಿಯಯ್ಯ.
ನಾನು ನನ್ನದು ಏನಯ್ಯ ಶಿವದಾನೆಲ್ಲವೂ ತಿಳಿಯಯ್ಯ.
ಶಿವನೇ ಗುರು ನೋಡಯ್ಯ ಗುರುವೇ ಶಿವನು ಹರಿಯಯ್ಯ.
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 So thank you all for joining us. And do we have announcements? We do. Yeah, hold on a minute.
Good morning, everyone. Tomorrow we're having Dakini Day, and typically for the past number of years, Dakini Day has involved, first of all, usually a talk by Lama Tarchin, and then we focus on these Dakini texts and we invoke them and bring them forth that we can experience the realm of the Dakini within us and around us, huh? These ancient texts ultimately have shamanistic origins. But we're going to make a little bit of a change now, where I think it's Aaron and Elizabeth Ebo and perhaps also Skip Ellis. Well, during the week, they'll take turns and we'll put out a little schedule of having the talk by Lama Tarchin given during the evening or even other times during the week. And it's really, really great to hear Lama Tarchin speak. He's so contemporary, and you can see the power of the Dujam lineage comes directly through him. The divinity of appearance and the divinity of experience. And we'll be doing that. Probably by next week we'll have a schedule. But on the Dakini Day itself, on Saturdays, so we won't be showing the videos of Lama Tarchin or some of these other videos we also have, but rather just probably going to focus on the texts for about an hour or so and practice this great practice of invocation and bringing forth these archetypal dimensions within ourselves and our circumstances. And it usually starts at 8 o'clock and ends sometimes at 9 and sometimes at 9:30. And next week
Oh yeah, next week we will not be here. So that would be Inauguration Day. And